Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 133-115. The Los Angeles Lakers got their butts kicked real bad by the Los Angeles Clippers on this here night. I don't know if I could sum up my frustration any more so than to say just take a look at LeBron, because he sums up my frustration. Me and him are on the same page with this one. I thought he was phenomenal, nothing short of it. 46 points, 8 assists, several rebounds. Forgive me if I got his assists and rebounds wrong, but you know how I am with stats. At the end of the day, the man didn't have a single turnover. He hit about 9 threes. He fought back into the game even though we were down by a million. He wasn't getting a whole lot of help, and that's going to be something we talk a little bit about. But I mean, this is one of those nights where it's like I just look at our team and I say, all of the things that I really want to complain about, hopefully tonight is pretty much the last night it even have to be a thing. Because what it will really come down to is we need more help on the wing. Rui's here now, so that's a start. And we need Anthony Davis to come back, and he may be back tomorrow. So if that's the case, then a lot of what there was to whine and complain about tonight just simply gets fixed by us getting kind of healthy, to be honest with you. I think this is one of those games where it's like, AD, if you could go tomorrow, why the hell couldn't you go tonight? That's what you say to AD. If you could go tomorrow, why the hell you didn't go tonight and just take tomorrow off, just like Bron did? And so that's where my frustration is. AD ain't back yet tomorrow. I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, he couldn't play tonight, so he definitely shouldn't be ready to play tomorrow. Let's just be honest, because this was the game we really needed him. We can't, we could beat the Spurs one way or another. We should be able to play a good game against Spurs tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure they want to tank it out. They're not interested in winning too many games. But this was one of those games where you're going up against the rival, 9-game losing streak against them, all the history that we've had since these guys come together on this team, and these two teams have formed. We know the history. We talked about it in the pregame video. And it's one of those situations where you're like, you want to be more competitive on a night like this. You feel like you come off 2 victories against 2 very good quality teams, or one of the games you came back from a 24-point deficit at the half. You feel good about yourself. You make a big trade. All that good stuff is great. But you come in and you just start off schematically doing stuff that just really puts you at a disadvantage. Now, look, I was trying to rationalize with myself as I'm watching this in the third quarter. I'm like, Paul George is shooting yet another jumper over Patrick Beverley, or Kawhi Leonard is shooting another jumper over Patrick Beverley, or Dennis Schroeder, or whatever, however we have it, because our coach is clearly not valuing size. But I'm like, what does he value? What is it that I'm looking at? It's speed, right? He needs speed. His idea is, if the guys are too slow to keep up with him, it doesn't matter how tall they are. They're just going to get ran past and probably end up fouling. So if he has good enough foot speed, he'll take his chance with the jump shot. Whether it falls or not, he'll just play the percentages. If they can't hit the jumper with someone guarding them properly, even if that person is short, whatever the case may be, he'll live with that. If they happen to make the shot, he'll live with that. It's kind of like, that's the only real way I see the philosophy. Because for me, it's like, if you put a small person on a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who specializes in shooting jumpers, his rhythm is just going to take over at that point. He doesn't really need any help at that point. It's like he's shooting in the gym by himself. If he's able to get his gather going, all it takes is for him to be able to see what he's shooting at and be in rhythm, and that's it. So I'm watching us give amazing jump shooters jump shots over people who are shorter than them, and I guess the idea is because the foot speed would be able to keep up. And my thing is, I don't see the logic in that, man. And most importantly, I think Max Christie is fast enough and long enough to make it so that we don't have to necessarily settle for some of the stuff that we settled for. And then I watched Scottie Pippen play in the fourth quarter down the stretch in garbage minutes, and I realized how fast and how well he contested jump shots. And I just realized these are just the choices out here, going with guys that he trusts and having them be who he lives or dies with. I'm watching Patrick Beverley. It's an emotional game for him going up against the Clippers. But we can't win if he's going 1 for 8. If he's not giving us anything, you got to sit him down, man. And our coach just didn't necessarily want to go away from him for the reason we already discussed. I thought I thought Dennis Schroeder played a good game tonight. I love what I saw from him on both sides of the floor. I'm not going to complain at all about Dennis. But he was at a disadvantage to no fault of his own. I thought he did the most of what he was given. Troy Brown, he didn't have it tonight, but he was left on the floor out there to shoot a lot of shots that did not fall, and it contributed to some of our empty possessions, unfortunately. I thought Thomas Bryant was excellent on the offensive end, but nothing on the defensive end as usual. Nothing at all. And it's just Bron out there being brilliant by himself. Russell Westbrook, I don't know where Russell was tonight. He was getting to the rim, getting to the line. I guess you could say he got to the free throw line. That's pretty much it. I think he hit a corner jump shot one way, he hit a 3-point another way, but his impact wasn't out there for tonight. Not like it needed to be for this type of matchup. I thought they demoralized him early with some of those early shot blocks that the Clippers flexed on him. And continue to flex in the second half, too. They continue to run the same stuff. Every time he drove at the rim, they were just timing it and blocking it with one of their many wings. So the way that the Clippers are constructed, in my opinion, was always meant to destroy us. They always meant to be able to beat us. And if we don't have Anthony Davis on the floor, we're just easy to pick apart with the type of players they have down there. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are two of the best wings this game has right now. And they displayed their best tonight. And then you got a guy like Norman Powell, who I just continue to gain a lot of respect for on the offensive end. Just a brilliant basketball player himself, to be honest with you. Every time I see him play, he's always doing something spectacular. So this is one of those situations where you saw a great talent flex on the Clipper side of things. You had to be humble and just respect it. Reggie Jackson shot the ball well. Zubats took care of business out there. And like I said, their role players were excellent all over the place. Terrence Mann, Robert Covington, just everybody as a collective unit. They shot 60% from the free throw from the field and 60% from behind the arc. I mean, the shooting was just championship level, man. Championship level stuff that they flexed on the Lakers tonight, and they let us know what they felt about us, man, with their play, not necessarily with their mouths. And you can't say that you walked away from this game thinking that they're anything less than a title contender, to be completely honest with you. And that's just what it is. I saw a better team out there go up against a team that was down a superstar, and that was unacceptable. That's really what it comes down to. When you come up against a team like the Clippers tonight, in a situation where they're fully healthy, if you're not fully healthy, you're not respecting them. No, it just is what it is. You're not going to be able to provide them the type of competition that's going to be worthy. And that's exactly what it was tonight. We were not worthy tonight. LeBron James came with the right attitude. I thought he played every minute of basketball the way I would want to see him play it. I thought he brought the true Laker winning mentality to this game. And I thought that his teammates tried, but they did not give him the help that he needed tonight. Dennis Schroeder, I thought he was fighting really, really hard, but there was a situation down the stretch of the game that I think really sealed the game for us. When you get a situation where you have the ball on the ground and you're on the other side, the other court, the opposite end, and you somehow get the ball, you got to call a timeout in a situation where you're on the ground. You cannot pass the ball into transition hoping to get the ball to your man when you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the floor down there running at your man, right in the position to get the ball from him. You weren't on your feet. You have to call the timeout. We had 3 of them. Your instincts got to tell you to call the timeout. So that was I think that sealed the game there, man. I think after that play took place, it turned into a 3-point play for Kawhi Leonard where he laid the ball up, and that was when Coach basically pulled everybody out of the game. And I can't say I blame him. We got a back-to-back, you know what I mean? I thought maybe we could do a couple more things, but I think we were down by like 16 at that point, so couldn't really fight it. Just frustrated, man. You just want to be able to put up a better fight up against a team like this. You can talk all this like I did earlier in the day, but if your team isn't up to par, you're just gonna get embarrassed, and that's what happened, man. And I can't say I'm ashamed because the way Bron played, I don't think he could have did anything more or any less. He got 46 points as the final team left on the docket for him to score 40 points on. He had yet to do so until tonight against these Clippers. I thought it was a big deal. I think with Russell Westbrook also, I think he got 24,000 points or something of that nature. I think he reached a milestone as well, so we salute him on his milestone. Uh, you know, it's one of those nights. I would love to be the guy telling y'all I'm super upset, but I'm just humbled. We got beat. We got beat by a better team, and it was only because, in my humble opinion, we didn't have Anthony Davis on the floor. Simple as that. You can't come up against a team like this and don't have him out there. No way. Not when they're shooting like this. Heck no. And that's where the credit lies. It goes straight to the Clippers, Ty Lue, Paul George, and all of their entire team for just beating up on a team that you had an opportunity to do so against. Shooting in a way that you don't see too often. you don't see that too often. So I don't know if we could have beaten this team if they shot like this on any night. I don't know if anyone can beat them when they shoot like this. They look like Golden State Warriors out there tonight. So I want to give credit to some guys on our team, obviously, who played well. LeBron James, you know what I mean? I thought Wenyen Gabriel did some good things, even though it was a struggle out there a little bit. I thought Max Christie showed us some nice minutes, particularly contesting shots that ultimately were falling over him. But I thought they were great defensive possessions. Thomas Bryant really got into some good offensive grooves, hitting some big three-point shots I thought were nice. As I said, Dennis Schroeder was hounding all over the place. I love the way that he was just attacking and going after the players he was trying to defend. He was really scrappy out there all night long. I don't know what his stats look like, but to the eye test, he had some energy for us tonight. Patrick Beverley, man, that shooting was awful, bro. I don't know what to say, man. I just felt like that was one of the reasons why we were so poor out there, is because we kept searching out opportunities to get him shots. I'm like, Coach, this is why you lost, bro. I can't tell you how many games we've lost because of Patrick Beverley, basically. I don't want to lean it all on him, but it really does come down to how you use him and what you're doing with him. If you're seeking out opportunities for him to be the guy that finishes your offense, against a team like the Clippers, when they're scoring 133 points on you, bro, like I told everybody at the beginning of this day when we talked about this game at the very beginning, we must score, man. If you're not intending to score your season high tonight, don't even come out there and play against these Clippers. Because as I said, they had been putting points up a lot, just like all the rest of these teams in the league. And they are more capable than most because of how they attack you. Because of the type of players that they have. They're not Memphis. They're not young. They're not going to give you back the game like this. The hole that we dug for ourselves when Dennis Schroeder did that little timeout, when he should have called a timeout, instead passed the ball directly to Kawhi Leonard in the transition, we were down by 10. You know what I mean? It was like if the hole that we had dug hadn't have been so deep, the game wouldn't have been out of reach. We dug ourselves a hole by schematically lining up in a way that allowed for Kawhi and Paul George to just get jump shots all night. And then to Norman Powell from there. And the rest of those guys, they just ate. They ate off of that momentum. So, I mean, yeah, do you think, do you think for a second, in my mind, if I'm asking myself this question, do you think we could have won this game if Anthony Davis was on the floor? If the Clippers shoot like this? No, probably not. But you give yourself a much better chance to not let the hole be so deep, because he's going to do a lot of damage on the offensive end and likely get some of those guys who were hitting jumpers off the floor. And some of those different plays that we were trying to do with Russell Westbrook getting in the paint, those could have very easily been Anthony Davis. But even more so, Thomas Bryant. And that was another thing I was sitting there watching. I'm like, why are we attacking in the paint so much with Russell Westbrook and attacking from the corner with Patrick Beverley on so many possessions when these could very easily be turned into Thomas Bryant possessions and Wenyen Gabriel possessions in the paint and LeBron James possessions in the paint? It's just what you're choosing to do. What are you seeking out? And a lot of times people say it's take what the defense gives you. Not necessarily. Not in cases where you have opportunities to change the dynamic on the floor based on the size advantages or disadvantages you allow to take place. You're going to give the defense, what it is that they. If you're taking your opportunities where you can, you're not going to find yourself in a situation where you're getting hammered the way we got hammered tonight, man. That's the bottom line. Okay, if you just put size on the floor against guys, it's much harder for them to shoot over them. We say this every night. We've been saying this for 2 years. And it's not one of those situations where I thought we were deliberately going small necessarily, but we just went small enough to where it was too much for us to go up against a Clipper team like this tonight. Paul George is too talented of a jump shooter. Kawhi Leonard, obviously. You know what I mean? That's what it came down to. Paul George. I want to zero in on him because I thought that he was absolutely amazing on both sides of the floor tonight. Absolutely amazing. He's played one of his best games I've seen him play since probably Pacer George. Like, he was really stellar in my eyes tonight. And he just played off of the rest of his teammates. Kawhi Leonard started everything, but it was Paul George's consistent jump shooting, splashing just about every single time any little person was on him. He was just hitting the shot. And it became very clear to me that he was not allowing his team to lose, man. Even when they stopped getting as hot as they were in that first half, when they started the third quarter a little cold, it was evident to me that he was still doing the intangible things like rebounding and playing defense, hitting free throws and everything necessary to assure that we had a tough time coming back. And I just felt like it was him that kept that hole as deep as it was for us, But ultimately, it was just the entire team and their defensive principles in regards to attacking us when we drove in the paint with our small players. Russell Westbrook particularly. They erased everything, man. So, it was demoralizing. It was demoralizing, man. I can barely even really articulate it properly because at the end of the day, you just feel the frustration of understanding that LeBron James, this is one of them games you're like, if he plays this well and can't win, how does he want to see himself going forward with a franchise like this? You know what I mean? On a night like tonight where you lose your 10th straight game to the same damn team. You know what I mean? And they share LA with you. It's like, you play this well and you still can't beat a team when you're intent on winning. You just really wonder what LeBron James is thinking after a game like this. This is one of them nights where you wonder if he actually wants to be a Laker after tonight. Seriously. This is one of them games. You give it your all and you realize your best ain't enough. And if you would have did that best with another team, or dare I say even a team you were going up against, you probably could win it all if you play like that. But can you even win a game if you play like that with the Lakers? That's what it really comes down to. That's, I guess, the best way to articulate it. The man going 46 with no turnovers on like 10 threes damn near. And can't even win a game. You know what I mean? And I don't want to pick apart Dennis Schroeder, but like, you call a timeout there, who knows what good can happen, man. You gotta not turn the ball over in that situation. That I really think that stood out. I really think we just gotta be smarter as a team. And it's not something to be screaming about. I feel the same way about Kendrick Nunn in that situation where he hit the clutch three but didn't run back. This is the same type of thing. You almost feel bad for the player that does it because as well as they do, that's going to eat away at people's confidence in whether or not they can win in big games and situations like that. And for a guy like Dennis Schroeder who's doing a lot of good, and I'm praising him for the good that he did tonight. There's no way you're going to forget that type of turnover. And that cannot happen in a playoff situation. And here's the thing. It's about how you behave in split-second situations. It's the same thing we say about our coach, too. Are you handling your timeouts properly? Are you, in these moments that are pressurized and you only got a split second to think, are you choosing the right thing? And that's what we're seeing is, guys that we either can trust in those type of situations or guys that we're probably not going to be able to. And so that's what we're establishing here. I thought we tried a lot of things in the third quarter in a time when we probably should have been trying to put on more of an afterburners with our scoring. I thought we went to some defensive lineups. Tried JTA, JTA. We had some really empty possessions down there with my man JTA. And it wasn't like he was out there for a lot, but these are the type of things where you try stuff and you probably shouldn't try that. You know what I mean? But you're not going to complain about it because as soon as AD gets in here and Rui Hachimura gets in here, you don't have to do that no more. So it's like, how much complaining am I going to do? This might be the very last night we even have to worry about that. So that's kind of how it goes. You know what I mean? That's really how that goes. But I just want us to get away from these small situations where we have to ultimately find ourselves switched out and um, leave our guys so easy to be shot over, man. It's so demoralizing. It really, really is. And then on the other end, we got the same guys who are getting shot over are bricking shots. It's just rough, man. You can't convince me that's the better way to go. I don't know how one can. You know, you tell me foot speed. I don't know what foot speed can do for me when the guy's too short, man. So that's what it comes down to. I'm a frustrated and tired Laker fan. Can't even hardly speak today. Y'all forgive me for my misspeaking and all of that, but at the end of the day, man, I'm not mad at the Lakers, really. I'm not even frustrated. I just understand that when you build around guys that are not going to be reliable, you're going to have nights like tonight. Anthony Davis is not reliable, y'all. Y'all trying to tell me he's one game away from playing? He going to play tomorrow? And he watched this tonight? I don't want to. What are we doing, y'all? What are we even doing? That's what I'm talking about. Jeannie, I don't dislike Anthony Davis. Y'all know I don't. I can't wait to see him coming back. But if we trade him tomorrow, I will throw a party, y'all. Because I don't feel comfortable. That's the word. With our season and our future being in the balance with this guy's health when we know how it goes. When you know how it goes. It's not even a question anymore. Here we are yet again losing to the Clippers yet again. And he's on this roster for it again. In street clothes again. I wonder how many games he actually played against the Clippers. That's the stat I want to see. How many of those 10 matchups did Anthony Davis find himself actually suiting up for? I bet you not many. I bet you not many. And that's where my frustration ultimately lies. It's not in how we looked out there. It ain't in the choices of the coach. It ain't really in nothing else. It definitely ain't in LeBron's play. It's in the damn Anthony Davis variable. Time and time again. That's my frustration, y'all. It ain't deeper than that. I can't beat my foes because my second great player is never in anything other than damn street clothes. That's pretty much it. Shout out to LeBron James. I'm giving him the game ball. Although I have a lot of respect for the winning team, even though I don't have a whole lot of love for the franchise itself, I certainly appreciate what the unit did tonight. They were fun to watch. Obviously, the game ball should be going to somebody on their team, but I just felt like the King deserved it tonight, man. And you have no turnovers, and you put up the type of points that he put up, and you show how much you care about winning the way that I wanted to see him show it. And yeah, they're going to kill him for walking off the court. But you heard what I said about Stephon Diggs this morning, so you know I supported that. He cared about winning. You know what I mean? And so that's why I support the King, man, 100%, bro. You get the game ball from me. You showed me what I wanted to see tonight. This is unfortunately, as we always say, didn't have enough help. And we know whose fault that is, LeBron. Ain't BDF 44s. And I'm out.